What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I was having a conversation not too long ago with a bunch of buddies. We're out by a campfire, and I'm like, guys, we're on this part of this exponential curve. Like, we're gonna live through like this techno utopia. I mean, I had to admit, I bit it. Like, I bit the bait. Like, hook, line, and sinker. Like, they got me. And they're like, Trav, stop listening to Elon Musk, man. It's not gonna happen. Like, AI is not happening. I'm like, guys, it's gonna happen, you know, like technology doubles every 18 months, Moore's law, you know, if you keep on doing that, you know, the next 5 to 7 to 10 years are gonna be crazy. And they're like, Trav, no. Number one, Moore's law turned into an S curve in 2017. Like, basically it's over, bro. And I'm like, really? So I had to look that up. Turns out they're right. And so I'm like, okay, well, you know, we still are gonna have AI, and that's gonna change like everything, you know, like that's gonna be like electricity, you know, like you take anything, any technology, apply AI, boom. It would be like in the 1920s or 30s, where you're like, take any activity, like cleaning the house, add electricity, invents vacuum cleaner, invents dishwasher, invents washing machine, right? Like, take any activity, add electricity, it's gonna be huge. You're like, dude, bro, AI would immediately become racist. It's not happening. And I'm like, oh crap, you guys are right. And this is something that Zillow just found out, and we're watching. You might have seen the news stories maybe 6 months ago. Zillow is in a little bit of a trouble with, they decided to get into the house flipping business, which historically is a localized business because it requires local knowledge. I've always thought that there's a better way to sell real estate rather than like real estate agents and brokers and stuff. My entire family is in real estate. Wife's a real estate broker. My wife's a real estate agent. My parents are brokers. My brother's an agent. I mean, my whole family's in real estate. But so I've always been like, you know, taking the flip side of that coin, being like, you guys aren't needed. Like, this is like ridiculous. Like, we don't need real estate agents. Well, the thing is there's this localized knowledge to that industry, and we just saw Zillow think, oh, well, we can just use computer algorithms to buy and sell real estate. And it's turning out horrible for them. I mean, in our real estate market at this point, like every offer is like 10% above list price, and yet Zillow is losing money on their house flipping business. And it's because they tried to write the algorithm in a way where it was fair and balanced. The wokesters at Zillow, the techno utopiacrats, were like, no, we don't want the AI to become immediately racist, so we will go ahead and remove data sets, like sets of the data. And now it's not working. Like, it's not working because there are certain things that people want to know when they go to buy a house, and a lot of it has to do with demographics. Who are the neighbors in this neighborhood? It's not just about like, what's the square footage, you know, what are the taxes, what are the school districts, that kind of matters. But it's more or less, so when the Zillow computer is like looking at it, or the algorithm's looking at it, it's basically comparing these two properties and going, oh, this one's undervalued, assuming that all things are equal, and it's not, because they've removed part of that data set that they didn't like, and then it gave them the wrong results. So what I'm saying is AI conversation used to kind of like, in a way, freak me out, because I was like, man, you apply AI, it's gonna be like, it's gonna give some people who take advantage of it, who basically, you know, get the AI first, or, you know, are willing to front the upfront cost of getting it. They're gonna have a massive advantage over other people. And all of my buddies that are like, they're really, really great, deep thinkers, are all like, you guys didn't tell this guy? This guy doesn't know. He doesn't know. And I was like, I guess I don't know. They're like, Trav, it would become immediately racist if they'll never allow it. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Because if you look at statistics, and you look at like crime rates, and you ran that on an AI, so you inputted crime rates, you know, convicted whatever, into AI, it would become immediately racist. And so it's just interesting to me, like when you get to this phase of, I think at this point it's basically a collapse or a decline. Maybe it's a decline that's waiting in a collapse. But when you get to this phase where everything gets crazy, and it's just getting so crazy, like the way that they're redefining everything, and the way that they're changing the goalposts and moving the goalposts all the time, it's just insane. But you've got this, like, guys, we've got Elon Musk out there talking about AI and like all of these things that are just going to be happening in the next few years, and robo taxis and all that stuff. And I bought it hook, line, and sinker. But then once I started to peel into it, and they're like, Trav, stop listening to Elon Musk, okay? It's just a psyop. He's literally there to make you think everything's okay. All right, look into this guy. And so I do, and like, he comes from like a diamond emerald mining family who's basically been ridiculously wealthy his entire lifetime. And though I think he's still one of the greatest entrepreneurs I've ever seen, I don't know so much now. Like, now I'm just kind of like, there is a lot of things there that are very interesting. They're like, Trav, they want you to think that we're like doing stuff and like we're doing big things and we're going to Mars and we're doing stuff like that. But in reality, Trav, like, there's no chicken on the shelves, man. Like, you got to look around and be like, what did they do in Rome towards the end of the empire? They upped the budget for the Colosseum. Like, they increased entertainment. Like, they tried to pull away from the fact that like they were no longer a great society anymore, and they just tried to push entertainment and compliance. And I think it's funny. So I thought it was worth sharing, because it really is such a psyop, which is like, I don't know why I didn't think of that. You know, like, the data set would become immediately, I mean, the second you take a data set and put it into AI, they're right, it would become immediately racist. And it's so funny because we now live at a point where like we're not even, you know, we can't have conversations. We can't have open and honest debates. You know, we can't even look at the same data or informational set anymore. It's like, what set is this group of people like? What data set are they working off of? Well, we're changing the numbers around. Like, we can't even. I mean, gosh, everything is so jacked. It really is hilarious. It just makes me wonder, how much time do we have left? Like, surely we must be getting towards the end. I think we have to be approaching the end, I would assume. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments what you think, and if you think AI Utopia is a thing, or if you're maybe you're more enlightened than me and you didn't buy it hook, line, and sinker. But man, I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I really thought this was gonna happen, and I've actually been coming off like, you know, I've been kind of almost like down about it, because I'm like, man, techno Utopia is not happening. Like, the more I looked into it, the more I realized, like, no, my buddies are right. Like, it's not happening anytime soon. So anyway, guys, till next video, I will see you down in the comments.